Hello, this is Bob here in Lincoln, Missouri. Once again, I was arrested by the Benton County Sheriff's Department. My 8-year-old child was within 5 inches from me when the Sheriff's Department threw me on the ground. A deputy threw me on the ground, and of course, I went with the flow because I didn't want to resist arrest, because these people have done this before. They've arrested me before, and if you look at my other videos, this is happening to everybody around the United States. You know, I went to pick up my son today, and they make it at the Sheriff's Department. The pickup and drop-off site is at the Sheriff's Department. They do this so that they can continue to try to serve me with summons. Now they're trying to evict me out of my house. When he locked me up, well, when they took me inside the Sheriff's Department, they said they're charging me for littering and resisting arrest. So they arrested me for littering and resisting arrest. Littering because I refused to take the summons in my hands, and he threw it in my son's face, and I threw it on the ground. The Sheriff's Department threw it in my son's face, and it landed. One landed on his lap, the other one landed in the car seat, and I threw him on the ground, and I told the sheriff I'm refusing service. Instead, he says, turn around. So I turned around, put my hands on my back, and that's when he just threw me to the ground. Well, I went to the ground because I knew him and his buddy was going to do their thing and try to rough me up. If I wanted to resist arrest, it was the one individual, to the best of my knowledge. I didn't resist arrest. So I'd go inside the jailhouse, and a short time later they released me. Back in April of 2009, they arrested me after church. I went there to file a complaint, and they arrested me inside the building. Now they're trying to evict me out of my house on a false accusation charge. So here's what happens. They bring you into court, and then they just start coming at you. And they take your child, they take your money. Now they're trying to take my house. My house was sold for $7,500 on the steps of Benton County, Missouri. So you wonder, how much more can people take out here? I mean, unfortunately, there's a lot of unnecessary harassment, and there's a lot of children and families and parents being harassed by the police department and the judges and the lawyers. My son and I are innocent victims of this small, corrupt county, Benton County, Missouri. I've about had enough. At one time, I saw my child 1 week, and then the other parent had him another week. 1 week and 1 week. Now I don't even see my son 1 day a month. They went into my banking account, took $15,000. Now they put a lien against my house and sold it on the steps of the courthouse for $7,500. And without a house, I won't even be able to be around my child. Even though it's a 4-hour visit on Sunday, 5-hour visit on Saturday, that doesn't even equal to 12 days a year. 18 hours a month, not even 1 day a month. And we've done nothing. False accusations that I sexually molested my child. False accusations that I had him bite the head off a snake with our clothes off. False accusations that I fondled him. False accusations that I over-medicated him. False accusations that I conducted a sleep study on him. All these false accusations year after year after year, and then I'm being forced to pay the other lawyers' fees. And when I don't pay their fees, they come after my house, and now they're trying to evict me out of my house after they just sold it on the steps of the courthouse. This is not America. Well, this is America, but more and more people are in this situation. It's a sad day. Tomorrow is Mother's Day. Today, my son saw me get handcuffed. It's not the first time that they pulled me over with my child. It's not the first time they came to my car and harassed me with my child there. They themselves are abusing my child and neglecting my child. They don't come to me until I have my child in my car. In April of '09, there was 5 police officers lined up in front of my car as I picked up my child. And then they arrested me on that day, 3 hours later, saying child neglect and abuse, endangering the welfare of a child. I showed up for court and nobody was there. Today, they released me with no paperwork. So you can't see any track record of me being in jail. I don't think I can take too much more. I'm an Iraq veteran. I lived through the war in Iraq, and I was at 9/11 for 12 days. But this war right here, when they take your children from you on false accusations, and then they keep attacking you and taking you into court every year for 9 months, 12 months trials and litigation, excessive litigation. Then they make me pay for the other lawyers' fees because I got dragged into court, and then I proved that I was not guilty of having my son do a sleep study. I'm not a doctor. I can't do a sleep study on my child. The most you can do is get an oximeter and check your child's O2 level, just like putting a thermometer in his mouth and checking his body temperature. An oximeter, all you do is put it on their finger as they're sleeping, and you can see the O2 desaturation. My son had an O2 desaturation of 80% for almost 10 seconds. That could be lethal. My son, to this day when I saw him, had congestion. I've complained about this to DHS. I've complained about the bug bites, the broken arm. Most recently, a short time ago, my son had his head put in a toilet, and his mother was there. And the caseworker from Warsaw, Missouri, and on the hotline in Missouri asked me what was in the toilet. Like it was okay if it was clean. My son's had a broken arm. The day I filed a federal lawsuit, the mother broke his arm. A short time later, he had his head put in the toilet. Before that, he had a smashed nose, a smashed face. If ever you go to my Facebook and look at Robert Gibson, or if you Google Iraq vet goes to Congress, you'll see a lot of this, what I'm telling you. Just Google my name, Robert Gibson, and Google my son's name, Casey Gibson. We're being attacked here in Benton County, Missouri. They took my money, they took my child, now they're taking my house. This is a nightmare. It's so wrong what they're doing to me and my child. It's so wrong. We're innocent victims, and we're not getting any help. When I called the FBI today and told them I was at the sheriff's department on a false arrest, they said, well, you're not in danger. I said, I'm in danger because this sheriff's department has attacked me and my son many times, physically and mentally. They have records of all of this on document. The news agencies, they're not doing anything. I called the news agencies today. In November 6, 2006, when they said I had my son bite the head off a snake, I called the FBI, I called the news, everybody. I've given everybody pictures, documents. In June of '09, I filed a federal